31. Everyone, we'll call our meeting to order. For those of you that are dialed in, you have to turn your cameras on in order for us to count you as present. Judge Taylor, are you there? Judge Kay.
There. Mr. Chairman, Judge, this is Reagan. If you can hear me, my camera's not working. I'm gonna switch to my phone.
I'm surprised that you broke your camera. Judge West told me to tell you that. I see Judge West. Good morning, sir. We'll be in the rules, and since Judge Taylor has a broken camera, we'll count him as present. You'll play with that.
I'm looking at Stacy. Stacy's usually.
He's gonna be switching to his phone, so we can proceed. And when he gets on his phone, it'll show up. He needs to be on for counting, yeah.
So we do, Tiffany, should I ask you, we do have quorum.
Yes.
Okay, you can't conduct business. We'll move into item 2 on our agenda. Action items. First on the list is the review and approval of minutes from the 5/20/25 special call meeting. If someone is comfortable, we'll entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved, Judge Kay.
Judge Kay, thank you. Is there a second? Judge West, we can't hear you, sir. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Favor of motion, signify by aye. Or raise your hand. See a lot of head nodding there. Anyone opposed? Okay, we have a passed motion for the minutes. Item number 2, review and approval of finance reports for February, March, and April. Colin is going to share that with us. Colin, good morning, sir, again.
All right, everyone. So I think it's like the third or fourth page in your packet. It's split to February of 2025. And this will bring us up to date, at the end of April. At the next meeting, we will get to May and we'll have June as well for that. But, right now we're in April or February. Our overall budget at the end of February was 56% expended. We were at 49% at the same time in the prior year. Our admin costs were at 62% compared to 69% in the prior year. Our adult program expenditures were 66% compared to 28% in the prior year. Our dislocated worker was at 40% compared to 39% in the prior year. And our youth expenditures were at 51% compared to 49% in the prior year. And then that youth program expense for work experience was met for all those funds that are expiring June 30th of 2025. There's I think it was 225,000, something like that. That was met at this point. And then at the bottom, you can see the status of our direct service provider invoices. If you're so interested to see the timing of getting invoices paid, that is there for January. And at the time of this report being created, the February invoice had not been, the drawdown had not been submitted yet.
Want to take action separately each month.
I think what I have been doing was I would go through all three of them.
Okay.
So you discuss,
The whole thing.
we can,
One bullet.
Okay. Yeah.
So then I'll push forward to March, and please stop me if you have any questions. So at the end of March, our overall budget was 62% expended compared to 56% in the prior year. Our admin costs were at 70% compared to 82% in the prior year. Our adult expenditures were at 71% compared to 34% in the prior year. Dislocated worker program expenditures were 46% expended compared to 42% in the prior year. Our youth program expenditures were at 58% compared to 56% in the prior year. And then you can see there, the February Equisup, paid on the April 10th.
Anybody have any questions regarding the report for the month of March?
Sir, proceed. And so for April 2025, this, at the end of April of 2025, we were 69% expended on our overall budget compared to 65% expended on the prior year. Our admin costs were at 79% through the end of April, and that compares to 93% in the prior year. Our adult program expenditures were 78% expended compared to 43% in the prior year. The dislocated worker program was 50% compared to 51% in the prior year. Then youth program costs were 65% compared to 63% in the prior year. And then you can see there, our March Equus invoice was received on April 21st, and Equus was paid for that on May 14th. And I do not recall the exact date, but the April invoice has been paid to Equus already as well, so. And May as well. So we're working on May currently. April has been paid, everything through the end of April has been paid to Equus.
Does anybody have any questions regarding the report for the month of April? Need a motion to approve
So
the
moved.
financial reports for February, March, and April. Who did that?
Judge K.
Judge K, thank you, sir. Do we have a second? I can see it in David West's eyes. He wants to second that motion. But we have a motion and a second.
Second, Reagan, sorry, I'm still trying to get on camera.
Well, good luck with that, young man. So we have a motion and a second. Does anybody have any questions about any of the reports, once again, or the motion itself? All in favor signify by saying aye or raising your hand. Anyone opposed? The motion carries. Okay, we'll move to item 3 under the action items, review of the budget for fiscal year 26. Michael Bushman is on with us. Michael, are you going to share that with us?
Yes, sir. I will share the screen real quick. I apologize, I'm not downstairs. I have a few things I'm multitasking before our meeting this afternoon. So let me share my screen here. All right, can everyone see that?
Yes, sir.
All right, perfect. All right, so this is the budget for fiscal year 26, so July 1st of 2025 through June 30th of 2026. We did receive our estimated allocations from the state in March 27th of this year. That is this top line here, this FY26 allocation. We do receive 2 rounds of funding, really technically 3 with youth, April 1st, which we have not yet received, but July 1st and October 1st, these are the estimated allocations from the state. And then also I forecasted our carryover for the end of the fiscal year down here. Our total allocation and funds available to us for the fiscal year 26 is $4.6 million. And then the next section is our operating costs. Operating costs associate with the Bluegrass Ad staff, board staff here. So that's everything internal here. Just for a note, one thing that we did change is we used to allocate, so our expenses that spread across all programs, we used to split that allocation based on the number of enrollments per program. But for FY26, we have moved forward with splitting it based on our funding available. So whatever funds we have available in each program is how we're going to split our costs. So that's just a footnote for moving forward. We do think that's going to be more accurately allow us to more accurately spend our funds down in a more even manner. Two items of note I want to draw your attention to between last year's budget and this year is number one, the staff line item. Last year we had a budget of $663,000. Two things of note. We had only 6 months budgeted last year for an assistant director position that was never hired. So that's one thing. Is this year we did hire Rachel Adams. So we do have a new position, which obviously increased our budget. And then the second thing is across the entire organization, Bluegrass Ad, we did have an average of a 5% wage increase. Increases in salary this year were based on performance evaluations. But overall, the average came out to 5%, and that is applied here in this budget line for staff. The next thing that's kind of different from last year is the phone, equipment, and computer software line item that did jump up pretty significantly from $53,095. That is to coincide with the increases in our computer software that we use. Our assessments software has gone up, the price increase that we see estimates for. And then also I did budget in a few possible computers due to our new IT software and hardware renewal policy that we're trying to renew basically every computer and every program department through the next 3 years. So I did budget just in case 2 computers in this as well. Everything else in the ad staff budget is pretty consistent with last year. Those remain pretty much the same. So there's nothing really large of note, but those are 2 things different. And then the next 2 sections, the program delivery costs and the one-stop operator costs, that is through our direct service provider, Equus. These 2 lines are not their actual budget right now. We did use the same allocation that I explained earlier. So based on our funding, I gave them an increase for this year of $1.8 million for their program delivery. So that's the career centers and the actual pass-through services provided to participants. And then also I did, just because we did a 5% increase internally here, I just budgeted out a 5% increase just in case for the one-stop operator costs. This does give us a carryover for next year, which is about 1.1 million. That's about a good average that we want to use moving forward. We do know, like this year is a perfect example. You know, the federal level down to the state level is slow, so we don't know our allocations just yet. So we do want a pretty significant carryover. About 1.1 million is pretty average for all past fiscal years historically. This does allow us to continue services without any delays. So we did budget out to be pretty conservative and have this 1.1 million carryover. And finally, a couple footnotes. These are pure pass-through items. We do have the Quest grant, the Putting Young People to Work youth grant that's run through Kentuckiana, and our trade. Basically, all those funds are going straight through to Equus, and we do not have anything budgeted internally for those. So those are footnotes at the bottom like they typically are every year. Are there any specific questions on the budget?
Want to have any questions for Michael for the proposed budget? I'm sorry. Okay. Anything else, Michael, you want us to share? We need to vote on this, right?
I think
Anything
we
else you
need-
want to share before we vote? Take that as a no. Entertain a motion to approve the proposed budget for fiscal year 26.
So moved, James K.
Thank you, Judge Kay. Is there a second? Judge West, you want to second that one? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Are there any, once again, are there any questions for Michael regarding any of the the information he shared with us regarding the budget. Starts July 1. All in favor signify by aye or raising your hand. Anyone opposed?
I asked Jeremy to contact him and see if he can help him get online.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now we don't have.
We just skip to the informational items until he gets back. You would like to do that? Okay.
Did you lose somebody?
We lost
Judge Taylor.
Judge Taylor.
Okay. Well, let's Stacy suggested we can skip her informational items until we can get Judge Taylor back. Item number 3 on your agenda. One on the list, Bluegrass WIB Board certification by K-WIB. That are in the packet. Tiffany, anything you want to share with us regarding that?
It was just to update you all on the fact that our WIB board has been certified by the K-WIB. So,
Is that an annual certification?
it's every two
I think it's 2 years.
years, yeah, because this is good from the, July 1, 2025 to June 30th, 27. So, yeah.
Well, they do that for all the ads.
Yes. Yes.
Anybody have any questions for Tiffany regarding that certification process? Okay, we'll move to item number 2, the fall CETA, or your fall SETA.
It's called.
You don't bring your friends.
Yes, I call it SETA. The fall SETA is in September and it will be held in Cherokee, North Carolina, right? Biloxi, Mississippi. I'm so sorry, Biloxi, Mississippi. They all run together on me. None of the board staff are gonna be going to this one. Roly and I were chosen to present at the National Association of Workforce Development Professionals. That's in August. So we'll be presenting on rapid response services. So, and this SETA conference, whenever they release the agenda, you usually try to get an idea if there's things that can help, right, and will benefit. There's not a lot on this one, but if one of the Leos would like to attend, you all just need to let me know. And we will get everything set up for you all.
Okay.
You all to attend.
Ms. Biloxi, we're over. She knows.
It is.
Curiosity.
It is. It is. It's at, Harris. Amy, are you on? Cause Amy's still the.
I am. It's at the
Um,
Beau Rivage.
Beau Rivage.
Mhm.
That sounds pretty fancy.
Well, I mean, if you'd like to go, you let us know and Robin will get you squared away.
You got it.
September 26th, October 1st. Anybody have any questions or comments about that conference? Okay, we'll go to number 3, direct service provider report for May. Jennifer is going to share that with us.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thanks. In your packet toward the very end, you'll have the May report. I give Tiffany one of these each and every month, just reporting on some of the outreach activities, meetings, and initiatives that we have going on. At the end of May, we had 135 WIOA enrollments, and as of today, we have 125 additional non-WIOA enrollments. So we're sitting around 160 enrollments compared to, I looked up the numbers just a few minutes ago, we had 91 this time last year. So substantial increase of enrollments this program year for sure. We also have a substantial increase for initiatives and outreach for this program year. Just to name a few that we've been working on, finished up and or starting, is that we have active work experience participants in Mercer County at the Harrodsburg Water Treatment. Tiff and I have met with an entire room of water treatment operators pushing work-based learning opportunities with them because we know that there's a need area-wide. We also have a childcare initiative going on. We partnered with Miss Debbie Link with Child Care Council of Kentucky, and we have two initiatives, and Robin has taken the lead on these, but we have two participants that we've enrolled to help set up in-home care, so entrepreneurships. They're starting their own business in-home care for childcare. And we have two participants that we have placed out in existing childcare centers. So we have 4 participants with our childcare initiative cohort. We have our second round of Estill County CDL cohort will start in August. I was on site Estill County last week at the library, stopped by to see the judge briefly, but we're going to do up to 6 more participants for CDL training for Estill in August. We just started a welding cohort for putting young Kentuckians first. So these are young adults, 18 to 24, that don't wish to pursue a 2 or a 4-year college pathway. So we just funded them for an 11-day welding helper certificate in partnership with BCTC. We also have just finished up a Garrett and Lincoln County nurse aid cohort where 8 participants that we funded completed nurse aid training. And then we're also on site in Nicholas County right now, and Tiff's been really helpful with this, and Rolly and Hannah, our business service team, have as well. But we're getting an initiative at Willowbrook, so the nursing home that reopened there in Nicholas County, to place them some work-based learning participants. And then I think here in a few minutes, Tiff's going to give an update for Madison and Woodford for a special initiative that we have coming that way that's going to be very good for you all to hear. But I listed out the counties and everything, that some of the highlights that we've been doing, but we're on site each county every month in libraries, adult eds, working with recovery centers. We have WIOA funding. We have non-WIOA funding. That's called Putting Young Kentuckians First. So we're looking, like I said, for those 18 to 24-year-olds that don't want to go to a 4-year or 2-year post-secondary. But if you all have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Anybody have any questions for Jennifer? Thank you so much, Jennifer. We appreciate it.
And where Jennifer mentioned, is it okay if I say? I'm pretty sure, I know that Judge Kay knows, and Judge Taylor, but with Yokohama had closed in Woodford County, and with the upcoming closures of the depot there in Madison County, Rachel and all of us worked really hard on a grant, and we were awarded a $2 million National Dislocated Worker Grant. And we're very excited to get that kicked off. I'm gonna wait until after the 4th of July holiday to be reaching out to Judge Kay and Judge Taylor to find out, like, local radio stations, little local newspapers, to try to help get the word out, other than just like our social media that we use and all that stuff. So this grant will help those individuals with work-based learning opportunities, OJT, credential attainment, but they have to be eligible. They have to have been laid off from the Yokohama closure or going to be laid off from the depot. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Tiffany. Like under information, we have one more report from Todd. Todd, you're still there?
I'm here. Good
All
morning,
right,
everybody. In your packet, you'll see my report from the month of May. couple things you'll notice on it. We always keep track of our in-person walk-ins and new referrals. I think every month or so often when we get together, you'll see this referral number is just continually climbing. For the month of May, we had 271 new referrals into the program. So these are electronic referrals that come in and get sent out to all of our case managers to kind of work through. But that number is just continually increasing month over month. So that's 271 new folks that have shown interest in the program, that Jennifer's team works through to determine how we can best assist them. It could be something as simple as a job search or a resume, but the majority of them that come in are looking for training or looking for our assistance in our internship program. So a lot of new referrals each month. We did have a couple of meetings with the Bluegrass Army Depot there in May. We did a town hall meeting with a group of employees there just to kind of give them some information about services we'd be providing coming up as more of them reach their last day of work there. The May hiring events and VR events are listed out there. That Jeremy does the VRs, and then our business services staff typically do the job fairs. And then we did have one actual rapid response session in May with employees from the Army Depot. It was just a smaller group of 12 there, but we'll continue doing these rapid response sessions with all of the folks from the depot that work for Department of Defense, but also all of their subcontractors right up until their last day there, until the final folks are there. We'll be doing these rapid response sessions. I did send in 2 access point recertifications to the KWIB for 2 of our library access point locations. That was Harrison and Jessamine County. And if you'll remember, a while back in March, we did decide to close down the Georgetown, Kentucky Career Center location. The rent was going to be going up, and some of the partners weren't really expressing interest in continuing on there. So we do have a new staff person that we've hired on that we're getting trained up, and we're going to have 2 access point locations there in Scott County to continue serving folks in the Scott County area. One will be at the Scott County Public Library, but we'll also have some staff that with dedicated hours at the Adult Ed Center there at BCTC in Scott County, so we can continue to have a presence there in the Scott County area. But really, that's about it for that report. If you have any questions, I will be glad to take them.
Anyone have any questions for Todd? Thank you very much, Todd. We appreciate
Thank you, Judge.
Robin, were we able to retrieve Judge Taylor?
We were not, we're working on it. Jeremy is trying to contact him and see if he can help him with his technical issues to get online. And otherwise though, our other options, I just called Judge Gritton, and he is not available to join. And Judge Hamilton is on a FEMA visit out in the field right now.
Yes.
Okay, Jeremy said that he and Judge Taylor are almost connected.
I appreciate you all. I just, well, we're so busy. But I do appreciate you more than you know. I know, I know. I do, I mean, I know how busy you all are. So,
There's some counties back there, we're like 1,000 people. You're mad? So. Yes.
it's crowded.
So do we just want to wait and see if we can get Judge Taylor. It sounds like our only option.
Yeah,
And
this
if
is
we
one.
can, and we table everything else as part of action and wait till the next meeting. Can they wait till the next meeting or? Meeting? Sure.
I don't think you would need to call us. That's one of their policies. I don't know that you would need to call. The BG Win has approved it, and you guys were just supporting the approval of it.
Yeah, because the WIP's already approved all of the policies.
Okay.
You all just show your support. And we update as well, right, on what changes have happened.
So the action we would take would be just to express support and advocacy.
To also approve the changes that would be listed in the policies.
Stacey, I'm looking at you.
Technically, I will tell you, in the past, these have been informational items. So once the BG WIB, because that's why you guys appoint the BG WIB, to address the policy changes. They've approved the policy changes.
Mhm.
We can move forward with it. We have moved them up to action items. This is the first time, I believe. We moved them up to action items for you guys to note in our records that you guys also approved them. So, we can tentatively move forward with going ahead as the changes are approved, and then the next meeting, you guys can officially acknowledge, yes, we've looked at them, we've approved them. Because there's nothing in there that's egregious. It's a lot of
No.
updating language and things like that,
Mhm.
so.
Was everything under item number 6?
Under 6,
Items 4 and 5 would be.
items 4, Tiff.
Okay, so on, item 4, we, are gonna set up access point kiosk. You should have this in your packet. We had talked about it at the full WIB meeting, the WIB's on board with it. The plan was originally to just set them up at your county courthouses where there's drug court, at the county courthouse where there's drug court and things like that. But Judge Watson pointed out that it would be good to have them at the area technical colleges. So the key thing about it was it's okay for us to do it, and then we were gonna discuss where in your county that you all think would be a good location for the kiosk to set up. On the kiosk, it's gonna connect you straight to the referral link. It has the Tradeify, which is the career personality assessment. It's just like the ones that we had in the recovery centers. So that was what that was about.
And when, and they're comfortable that technically you can do that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Any, whatever location.
Yeah.
It's suitable for that particular county.
Yes, yes. So because you all know your counties better than we do, so wherever you think it would be best, that was the discussion, connected with that.
The highest traffic area, foot traffic areas are the practical locations.
If you can't get Walmart though, because I done thought that.
What about, well, our courthouse would be, county offices are in the courthouse, but
Mhm.
there's an AOC judicial center.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be, well, some time. Building
Right.
and forward.
Because it's just a way to help get the services out there in different parts of your counties. That makes sense.
So the intent is to identify at least one location in each 17 counties plus the.
Well, Judge Watson indicated that ATC there in Estill County would be best for his, you know what I mean, for his county. So where's it best for your county?
I don't think so. False alarm.
So,
So again, that probably could have also been an
I think,
informational item.
look, I originally think all the policy changes can be informational since the web's already.
Item number 5, obsolete policies, WIB has taken action
Yep.
to eliminate.
Yes, yes, on the
Important thing is for us to be aware.
correct. On the ETPL, that was a policy that the local boards helped maintain the ETPL. The ETPL is the approved training provider list In order for an individual to receive ITA training, which is an individual training fund, right, like to go to BCTC or something like that, the provider has to be, the training provider has to be on the ETPL, right? A few years back, the local areas were responsible for getting that information in that system. The state has taken that back. So the local areas don't have anything to do with that, so that's why that policy is obsolete. On the Focus Assist approvals, the state, maintained, it was called Focus Career and Focus Assist. They done away with that database. It was a job matching database. And you could build a basic resume on it. So the business service team used to approve the job postings in there, but that the state completely done away with Focus Career, so that is why that is no longer needed. There's not even a website connected to it.
What definition? They would need that.
I have no clue.
What,
Yeah.
through the paper cap?
Yes. Yes. So they have a new system. It is. Yeah,
It's the labor exchange system.
now it doesn't match, or it's like you can't build a resume in it.
No.
It just has job leads in there. So yeah, but I mean, we have, well, no, with Jennifer and them, they have, you know what I mean? It's called, I think, Metrics, in which for individuals that we're working with, we help them build resumes and stuff.
Judge West and Judge Kay, you're all comfortable with that information? Did we lost Judge West? Hi, Judge West.
Yeah, I don't know how stressful these meetings are.
Are you all comfortable with the information that staff has shared regarding items 4, 5, and 6, which were listed as action items, but basically it's sharing information with us, in particular, policy changes, we've approved those policy changes, and the intent is just for us to be aware of what they've done. Are you comfortable with that? We can take action at our next scheduled meeting in September if we, for the record, have that record that we have voted on that. Are you all comfortable with that?
Yeah, that's a good Judge Kay. Judge West got something else.
Okay, we'll consider that. done.
Yeah.
So we're done with the action items.
Yeah.
And we're done with the information item.
Yeah.
Judge Williams, can I just make it, on this kiosk thing, what I can do is send an email to each of the counties and ask you to let me know which one.
Yeah, what location?
That's on us to pick a play.
Well,
I know your library, there's quite a bit of traffic.
well, but we have someone that
Yeah.
shows up at the library.
We have a,
I'm just thinking of, I don't think of high traffic areas, like, I know your library doesn't have a lot of meetings there, there's a lot of traffic that comes in, something similar to that. Maybe your ATC does have one.
Courthouse, I mean, there's a lot of businesses transacted there, but it's not necessarily people that are
Right.
needing any kind of assistance with employment.
Yeah. When it first started, the thought process was to connect it with your drug courts.
Yeah.
Right. That was the first thought process. So, because I know, a few years back, we had me and it was when Mike was still with Workforce, my brother. And we went and just set up a table, Scott County, whenever they had their drug court, outside the room, and individuals stopped by They had fees that they had to pay and all that, and we just had a lot of people stop by and see us, and it turned into enrollments and positive outcomes. So,
How much time, Robin, are you gonna give us to make a decision?
tomorrow,
8 AM tomorrow.
What time? 8?
8, yeah.
Okay.
we'll give you a couple weeks. I mean,
Yeah,
it's not,
couple weeks.
this isn't horribly pressing. We'll keep it, it is.
As we should.
Yes.
As we want to.
Now, what else can they do on this? Yeah.
It'll connect them with the Career Center, right? There's the Tradeify that's on it. And then it also has LinkedIn. It connects it with, straight with the Career Center and with that labor exchange. So. Because what we can do also is whenever, like, I can set up to come out and just find 30 minutes to meet with y'all. It's not necessarily me, we'll divvy it all out because of all the counties. And just take 30 minutes and show you the tablet and show you how it all connects. Because I'm just a visual person.
And do I need to contact them if you're there?
If you give us the name of the place, we probably already got a contact. I know we do at the ATC, without a doubt.
Okay.
Um,
You have that then.
right, and if it's somewhere that we don't have a connection with, then we need to build that connection. Might be an introduction email, and then we'll take it from there.
And we'll probably name drop though and say, Judge
Yes.
Watson's,
That it was
loves this
okay.
program.
As you know.
Yeah.
Or you're gonna be there to set up.
The only obstacle tip that we've ever ran across, as we've taken them out places is Wi-Fi. They do have to have a Wi-Fi connection.
Yeah,
So that's the only obstacle that we've really came across. And in some of the libraries where we had that issue, we were able to get on their secure network. That way it
Mhm.
doesn't kick them off. A lot of time, like a public Wi-Fi will kick you off after a certain amount of time. So we were able to work with the IT department to get on their secure network. The tablets can't be jailbroken. They can only operate in that kiosk mode. So nobody can get on them and do different things. It's just going to be the screen that you see there in the packet. But Wi-Fi is definitely required.
listen, the libraries provide more workforce, development than what anybody realizes, career search and all that stuff. They just do. My end goal would be to have a little career center inside a library, but that's a couple of years away.
Along with a lot of other things besides being a library and a lake. Administer GED tests and those kinds of things at our library. I assume there are many of them that do those kinds of things. The adult ed staff.
They do, and then there's also a lot of mental health, and there's odd little services offered, whenever, Donnie was in the military and we moved around a little bit and all that. The first place I would go was the library, because you can find out what was in the county, find the group that you fit with and all that. The libraries are very important to counties.
Anyone else have any comments or anything in general we want to share? We do have open discussion on our agenda. Try to limit that. Subjects.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
That are pertinent. There's a lot to talk about every day. Since we don't have a quorum to vote to adjourn, I can just adjourn the meeting. I declare this meeting adjourned unless there's anything else. Thank you, Judge Kay. Thank you, Judge West. Thanks all of you. Thanks all the staff members for joining us. We appreciate your input. And I guess we just need to remember if we want to go to Biloxi in September. we
Yeah.
need to
Let Robin know.
Let Robin know soon,
Mhm.
but not by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Thank you all very much.